Addiction refers to the inability to stop engaging in a behavior or using a substance, even when it causes clear and harmful consequences. It's a condition that can affect anyone, regardless of age, background, intelligence, or willpower. Addiction doesn't discriminate. People often think of addiction only in terms of illegal drugs, but it's much broader than that. Alcohol, nicotine, prescription medications, gambling, shopping, even smartphones and social media, all of these can trigger the same addictive mechanisms in the brain. Before science provided deeper insights, addiction was largely misunderstood. It was seen as a moral failure, a sign that someone lacked discipline or self-respect. Society treated addiction as a personal flaw, not a medical issue. But modern neuroscience has completely shifted that view. Today, we understand addiction as a chronic, relapsing disorder that changes the structure and function of the brain. These changes affect how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. That's why addiction is now officially recognized as a brain disease, not just bad behavior. To understand how addiction works, we need to look at the brain's reward system, the circuit that evolved to help us survive by reinforcing beneficial behaviors. This system tells us, "That felt good. Do it again." When we eat, laugh with friends, accomplish a goal, or receive affection, the brain releases dopamine, a chemical messenger that creates a sense of pleasure and satisfaction. Dopamine helps us remember the activity and motivates us to repeat it. It's nature's way of rewarding us for doing something right. But here's where addiction hijacks this system. Substances like heroin, cocaine, nicotine, alcohol, even sugary foods, can cause massive surges of dopamine. These surges are far more powerful than what's produced during natural rewards. The brain interprets this as, "Wow, this must be really important. Let's remember this and do it again, and again, and again." For example, if eating your favorite dessert increases dopamine levels by 50%, cocaine might raise it by 300% or more. That's not a subtle difference. That's like going from a gentle breeze to a hurricane. The first few times a person uses a drug, the high feels euphoric. But the brain doesn't just sit back and enjoy the ride, it tries to maintain balance. So it adapts. It reduces dopamine production and starts shutting down some of its dopamine receptors. This is called neuroadaptation, and it leads to tolerance, meaning the same amount of drug produces less and less of an effect over time. The person now has to take more to feel anything at all. Meanwhile, natural rewards, like spending time with family, eating good food, or achieving a goal, start to feel less exciting. The brain's reward system has been rewired to respond mostly to the substance. But addiction doesn't just affect the reward system. Dopamine also plays a key role in other brain regions, including those responsible for decision-making, impulse control, memory, and learning. These areas begin to malfunction. The result? The person knows the behavior is harming them. They might even desperately want to stop, but they feel compelled to keep going. It becomes a compulsion. The behavior turns into an automatic response, more of a reflex than a choice. This is why you often hear people in recovery say, "I didn't even want to get high. I just did it, like I was on autopilot." Imagine driving a car where the steering is broken and the brakes barely work. That's what addiction does to the brain. It takes away control. The person is no longer in the driver's seat. On top of that, the brain's stress system also changes. During addiction, stress hormones like cortisol become more active. This means the person is not only chasing pleasure, they're also trying to escape emotional pain, anxiety, or withdrawal symptoms. Withdrawal can be brutal. It can include nausea, tremors, insomnia, depression, intense cravings, and even suicidal thoughts. Sometimes people keep using not to get high, but simply to feel normal or avoid unbearable discomfort. Over time, addiction often isolates people. They may lose their jobs, relationships, and sense of identity. They may feel ashamed, hopeless, and stuck in a cycle that seems impossible to escape. But here's what's important to understand. Addiction is treatable. The brain is an amazingly adaptable organ. Just as it can change in response to addiction, it can also begin to heal with the right treatment and time. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, allows people to build new, healthier pathways. Treatment options include behavioral therapy, medications that help balance brain chemistry, peer support groups, and lifestyle changes like exercise and mindfulness. Recovery is a journey, and often a lifelong one, but it's absolutely possible. Millions of people around the world are living proof that recovery works. Still, one of the biggest barriers to healing isn't the drug itself, it's stigma. Many people struggling with addiction feel judged, rejected, or dismissed. They're seen as irresponsible, weak, or selfish. This social shame prevents people from reaching out for help. We wouldn't shame someone for having cancer or diabetes. So why do we treat addiction differently? Addiction isn't about being bad, it's about being human. And like any disease, it deserves compassion, understanding, and evidence-based care. Changing the way we talk about addiction is the first step to breaking the cycle. Instead of saying, "Why can't they stop?" ask, "What happened to them and how can we help?" If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, know this: you are not alone. There is help, there is hope, and recovery is real.